Hi, my name is Tiffany and I'm an IB student from Australia. I'm currently 17 years old and I'm attending the Sydney School Redlands, where I'll be finishing my IB diploma program in November 2014. Last week I was in Hong Kong staying at the new residential halls at the Hong Kong University as part of the last IB World Student Conference for 2013. In contrast, it was the first ever IB World Student Conference to be held in the Asia Pacific region. First of all, I should probably explain why I decided to jump on this opportunity. When I started the diploma program in January, I was exploring the IBO website and I saw that there were 4 opportunities to attend an IB World Student Conference. Then there was the task of which one to choose. In the end, I chose the one in Hong Kong for 2 main reasons. Its topic was iResponsibility, how we engage in the online world, which I found relevant, especially with the growing number of users of social media, resulting in more and more people interacting online. It seems like the internet is becoming our future whether we like it or not. Besides, between you and me, we have at least 2 netizens. Secondly, coming from Australia, which is in the Asia Pacific region, I realised that I never really took the time to think about my neighbours, even though I've learned so much about APEC or ASEAN in humanities, so I hoped that I would meet a lot of people closer to home, distance-wise. Besides, I was up for an adventure. I'll pack my bags. I met so many people from so many places on the conference. Altogether, there were 150 students from 26 different countries. There was a guy who was half Japanese, half American, but lived in Macau, a girl from Kenya who had a Hindi name but was Muslim, and of course, counting me inclusively, there were 7 little Australians. On the first day, we played some icebreaker games with our chaperone groups, my group being Group O. One of the games we played was called Bing Bang Wah. It was very confusing as we had a girl who would say bang and bang. But accents were confusing throughout the conference, and so were different slangs. Like, one day I was talking to my friend about thongs, and she thought I was talking about thongs. But as one of my supervisors reminded me, it didn't matter if we said that we went to school from K to 12 or year 1 to 13. That wasn't going to help us achieve our goal, and we shouldn't get distracted by it. We also had a visitor from the IBO, Dr. Siva Kumari, the COO of the IB Schools Division, and I feel as if her introduction encompassed the main goal of the IB World Student Conference. She essentially said that with so many different students, we come together on a university campus and speak a common language and connect with so many different people. What brings us together as students is the IB, but what brings us together as people is connecting on a human level, having the power of good that we can do, and having the power of the collective. The IB is really international, but the conference was really the first time I could experience this international aspect firsthand. I went overseas, I met people from overseas, and it was then when I realized the importance of becoming a global citizen. There were so many amazing speakers on the conference, and I didn't actually get to see them all. But from the ones I did see, I could probably talk about them for hours and hours, so I'll just tell you a tiny bit about them and a tiny bit of what I learned. For the first speaker I saw was Mr. Clive Lee from Gailey, Envision Hong Kong and Dragon Nation, and he talked about lessons from around the world social entrepreneurship using social media. His thoughts on youth empowerment were quite remarkable, and since he was young as well, being able to see what he has done was incredible. We also had Dr. Kinghua Fu from the Journalism and Media Center at the University of Hong Kong, and he talked about constructing China's public voice from big data, about our Weibo Scope project. It was astonishing to find out about such a big concept, such as big data, and it was actually mind-blowing, like, I also had Mr. Douglas Woodring from Ocean Recovery Alliance, and he discussed why plastic matters and what you can do about it. He showed us about his work, and I was quite shocked about the direct impact plastic has on our environment. But it ended on a positive note, because Ocean Recovery Alliance has developed, or is in the process of developing, an app that normal people like you and me can use to essentially dub into the world chunks of plastic that we see floating in the water. I believe it's called Global Alert Floating Trash. I then heard Kevin Lau, a Hong Kong-based instructor and digital media creator or strategist, with an interactive workshop about designing your own media, visualizing social software and ideas. This guy had a vivid imagination. He made me wonder about really weird scenarios, like, what if we had a shortage of Chinese sausages? Mr. Masato Kajimoto from the Journalism and Media Studies Center at the University of Hong Kong talked about social media and news, how to be a discerning news consumer. This was cool, to see how everyday civilians are beginning to have an impact in news and news reporting, and we can do this by our favorite simple tools, social media. Dr. Jiangnan Zhu from the Department of Politics and Public Administration at the University of Hong Kong discussed different information sources and popular perceptions of government corruption in mainland China. This speaker really got me thinking, especially since it was like a massive TOK session. She explained where many people got their perceptions from, and to see all the graphs and to hear the reasons was quite astonishing. Mr. Sebastian Lindstrom from What Took You So Long Foundation explored with us what took you so long to maximize your visual literacy. I thought this was something out of the ordinary. I mean, I don't really think much about the way I look at photos and the inferences that I make from simple observations. We also made really attractive short videos. I must say, maybe I should become a cinematographer. Mr. Sam Hui from Chantal University and Mr. Bobby Soriano from Tactical Technology Collective talked about survival in the digital age. This was super scary. I mean, nowadays people always talk about the dangers of the internet, but this was the first time someone actually showed me what sort of free programs people have available to them. One of those programs was called Creepy. But don't worry, not all is lost. They showed us how we could minimize our digital footprint on a website called Me and My Shadow. Professor Hualing Fu from the Faculty of Flora at the University of Hong Kong talked about the freedom of information and speech in an authoritarian state. He focused on China and also related in a lot of other factors like the economy, globalization, and technology, and really made the topic more relevant to us as global citizens. Miss Cindy Ko from Cindidi.com discussed with us the business of blogging. We may have got a little sidetracked on this one, because in question time, a guy asked her if she would ever choose to wear Crocs. Miss Beth Hepworth from Bonza Pie Coaching and Performance Consultancy talked about the power of social media to inspire and engage communities. Miss Hepworth inspired in me the desire to create positive change and really outline instances where social media can be used to voice one's opinion. Dr. Li Feng Cho from the Department of Sociology at the University of Hong Kong talked to us about the impact of the internet on investigative journalism in China. This was a lot of fun. We watched some viral videos on YouTube, such as Chinese Backdom Boys and the Song of the Grass Mud Horse. We visited this place called Cyberport, which was cool. It had a lot of technological stuff, which I had fun around playing with. They had this massive iPhone, which actually worked, and I may have been guilty of taking a selfie on it. There was also a blue screen, and over half of us lost our bodies. We learned about Praisage, which is a website where people in Hong Kong post something they appreciated, like someone's service, and they're able to share that experience. We also learned about digital broadcasting, which I never really thought about. And seeing as Australia has it, I was a little bit embarrassed. I had no idea what was going on. At the Flora Ho Sports Centre, I was engaged in some super awesome Bollywood dancing. The view of Hong Kong from the peak was amazing. The buildings were so awesome to look at, and I took a lot of photos. On the Wednesday, we were forced to welcome a guest. He was pretty gusty and wasn't very pleasant to hang around with. Luckily, the typhoon wasn't that dangerous where we were. I almost missed it because we were working so hard inside. We stayed in the building. I was on the 25th floor when the typhoon was around. We did work, we ate emergency food like instant noodles and sandwiches, and tried to kill time. Then, when the typhoon had gone away, we were able to go to Ocean Park, or as my Group O would say, Ocean Park. We also had global action team meetings throughout the conference, and then within those teams we had smaller groups. In the end, we all came up with the iPlan, which we can use for our CAS projects. My iPlan is quite thorough, so I won't tell you all of it here, but I worked with two amazing people on an anti-bullying campaign called the Mirror Campaign. It focused on cyberbullying, as that really tied our iPlan into the conference theme of iResponsibility. Then there was Global Culture Night, which was a series of performances by the different chaperone groups. We had two Aussies sing Waltzing Matilda, a fashion show, a skit of different stereotypes and quizzes. Later on, of course, we danced to Gangnam Style. During the conference, people seemed to be catching the Bob fever, and I'm about to show you an excerpt of a video where the fever began to spread exponentially. By the way, the girl in the video really looks like me, but it's not.
Hello everyone! So we are Group O, and tonight we will be performing for you a Fijian dance. And just on a personal note, I'd just like to dedicate this dance to one special person. Bob, I'm looking at you.
last night we took a ferry to Lamma Island, which is famous for its seafood, and, well, we ate seafood. It was also our farewell party, and it was a great way to end. I'm so glad that I took an insane risk and travelled overseas to partake in this year's IB World Student Conference. I'm really going to miss all the people I've met, and if you're watching this, do keep in touch. Group O, I have an O quote for you. Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. I'm inclined to say that this was a life-changing experience, but I don't really think I've seen enough of life to be able to judge if it was or not. However, I can tell you that this conference really opened my eyes, and the world is something more open and bigger than what I initially thought. Thanks for watching, whether you're someone who was on the conference or not, whether you know me or not, or are doing the IB or not. You're a global citizen, and since you're using the online world to watch this, you're a netizen as well. Good luck. Use your power wisely.